I'm sending this video to question whether the Redcon CM651 receivers that I purchased truly have the fail-safe feature that was advertised that they have. Right now I have set up a DX7 Spectrum transmitter, CM651 receiver with satellite. I have a throttle servo and an elevator servo hooked up, and of course a battery. So at this point I have the bind plug put into the receiver. I'm going to turn on the receiver. As you can see, the lights are flashing. At this point I'm going to do the conventional bind method first, and I'm going to leave the bind plug plugged into the receiver. I'm going to turn the throttle down. I'm also going to pull the elevator back all the way, and as I turn on the transmitter, of course I'm going to be pushing the bind button on the back of the transmitter. I'm pushing in the bind button on the back of the transmitter, turning on the transmitter. The bind procedure is in play. At this point, both receiver, the main receiver and the satellite are bound. So at this point I'm going to shut off the receiver, shut off the transmitter, unplug the bind plug, turn on the transmitter, turn on the receiver, and as you can see, the throttle works fine, the elevator works fine. Now I originally had set the fail-safe condition for the elevator to go to that position. So now I'm going to turn off the transmitter. I'm going to turn the throttle all the way up. I'm going to turn off the transmitter and see what happens. As you can see, the throttle goes back to its low position, which is what it should do, but the elevator servo stayed the same. Okay, that's one way of setting up the binding of that receiver. Now the second method, I'm told, is that what you do is to again put the bind plug in, turn on the receiver. Now in this scenario, I'm going to turn off or unplug the bind plug. And now I'm going to put the throttle all the way down. I'm also going to hold the elevator all the way back, and I'm going to push the bind plug on the back of the transmitter, the bind button, and I'm going to turn on the transmitter. Again, we're going to bind. Okay, everything is bound at this point. So I'm going to check the throttle. Throttle works fine. I'm going to put the throttle all the way up. I'm going to leave the elevator in this position. Now I had set the elevator in this particular scenario. The elevator should go to this position if it loses signal. So now I'm going to turn off the transmitter temporarily, and we'll see what happens. Okay, again, the throttle went back to its low position, which is what it should, but the elevator servo remained where I last left it. It did not go back to this fail-safe position that I wanted it to. So my question is, am I doing something wrong here, or is it a feature in the transmitter that's not available, or a feature in the receiver that's not working properly? That's my question. So at this point I'm going to turn everything off.